Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're breaking down the full story and characters in a simple way so everything finally makes sense. For Outlast 1 and DLC, you play as a character named Miles Upshur, an investigative journalist. He receives a mysterious email from someone claiming that horrifying experiments are taking place inside an asylum called Mount Massive Asylum. The facility is owned by a powerful corporation known as Murkoff Corporation. In the beginning, the place was just a normal psychiatric hospital called Mount Massive Asylum. It had real mental patients. Some of them had mild conditions, and others needed serious treatment. So not all of them were dangerous or insane like what you see later in the game. Miles decides to go there himself, and that's where the nightmare begins. Murkoff Corporation was working on a secret project called Walrider project. The idea is they were experimenting on patients using a device called the Morphogenic Engine. The goal was to control the human mind and create a powerful entity made of energy nanotechnology, known as the Walrider. The problem is the experiments were extremely brutal. The patients were turned into deformed and insane creatures, the ones you encounter throughout the game. The experiment only worked on one patient named Billy Hope, who became the host of the Walrider entity. The Walrider went out of control. It killed the scientists and the guards. The patients were set loose and started killing each other. The main enemy chasing you is Chris Walker, a former soldier. He's trying to stop anyone from escaping because he knows the Walrider could escape with them. In the end, you finally reach Billy Hope's room. You shut down his life support, killing him. At that moment, it seems like the Walrider should disappear. But here's the twist. The Walrider doesn't die. It transfers into Miles. As you try to escape, the military opens fire on you. Miles gets shot and dies. But then, the Walrider, inside Miles, kills them all, meaning Miles is physically dead, but he becomes the new host of the Walrider. Why is the story so complicated? Because the game doesn't tell you everything directly. You have to discover it yourself by finding documents, notes, camera recordings. Murkoff conducted inhumane experiments. They created a terrifying entity, the Walrider. Then they lost control. Miles went in to uncover the truth, only to become part of the nightmare himself. Now let's talk about one of the most important characters in the game. Father Martin, a patient inside the asylum. But before everything, he was a priest. After the experiments, his mind broke, and he started seeing the Walrider as a real god. So the question is he insane, or does he understand more than everyone else? The strange truth is both. He is truly insane, but at the same time, he understands what's happening more than the other patients. Because he witnessed the experiments, he saw the Walrider with his own eyes and interpreted it in a religious way. Why did he drug you at the beginning? He drugged you because he was choosing you. He saw something different in you and believed you were a messenger. He was protecting you in his own way. The place is full of patients who would kill you instantly, so he drugged you to move you somewhere else safely. He wanted you to see the truth. He wanted you to reach the Walrider and witness the god yourself, which means he was preparing the path for you. Despite how terrifying he looks, he doesn't chase you like the others. Instead, he leaves you messages because he truly believes that you are the one who will witness the miracle. And when he burned himself, that was a religious sacrifice. He believed that death would bring him closer to his god and that his mission was complete because he led you to the end. Rudolf Wernicke is an old German scientist. He was involved in early research on mind control and one of the main minds behind the Walrider project, which means simply he is one of the people who created the disaster from the beginning. He was responsible for developing the device, the Morphogenic Engine. But why was he in a wheelchair and hiding? At the beginning of the game, he looks like a weak, helpless patient. He was hiding because he knew the place had turned into hell. He knew the patients would kill him. And he knew he was part of the reason, so he chose to live among them, as if he were one of them. His strange line, "You have to die." When he said that to you, he meant anyone who enters this place is a potential host for the Walrider, which means he understood your fate from the very beginning. At the end of the game, he appears again in the laboratory and asks you to kill Billy Hope. Why? To stop the Walrider. Was he trying to fix his mistake? In a way, yes. He caused the disaster, but in the end, he tried to stop it. The problem is it was already too late. Richard Trager is not even a normal patient. He was a doctor and a high-level executive at Murkoff, which means he was one of the people responsible for the experiments. He was a psychopath, a sadist who enjoyed torturing people and someone who saw patients as nothing more than test subjects. When the asylum collapsed, his mind broke completely, but he still kept the same doctor mentality. Why did he cut your fingers? That scene actually has a meaning. He was examining you in his own way, seeing you as a new experiment, and treating you like you weren't human to him. This was just normal work. Why is this character important? Trager represents the true face of Murkoff. People who operate with cold logic and believe that experiments matter more than human lives. The Walrider is not a ghost and not a demon. It is a scientifically created entity, made of nanotechnology, extremely tiny particles that gather and move like a living organism, which means it's like a black swarm controlled by the mind. Was created by Murkoff Corporation through a project called the Morphogenic Engine. The idea behind it is they put the patient into a state of dreams and nightmares, then try to make him create this entity using his own mind. If successful, he can control it. In the game, Billy Hope was controlling it, the only patient the experiment worked on. He became the host of the Walrider. The Walrider itself is not evil by nature, does not have human awareness. It is simply a tool. So who controls it? The person hosting it, which means with Billy, it killed anyone who got close. With Miles at the end, it becomes even more dangerous and unpredictable. Why was it killing everyone? Because it protects its host, follows his commands, or sometimes goes out of control. But what happened at the end? When Billy dies, the Walrider was supposed to disappear, but instead it leaves his body and enters Miles' Upshur. The terrifying meaning is the Walrider is never truly destroyed. It only transfers from one host to another. Now let's continue and understand the real continuation of the story through the DLC. Outlast, Whistleblower. This is honestly the most important part because it reveals all the secrets the main game left unclear. In the DLC, you are not Miles. You play as Wayland Park, an engineer working inside Murkoff Corporation. He is the same person who sent the email to Miles at the beginning of the game. Why did he send the email? Because he discovered the torture, the experiments, the massive lies, so he decided to expose them. But that was his mistake. Murkoff captured him and decided to use him as a test subject. During the torture, the Walrider outbreak happens, which means simply, Wayland is the indirect reason behind the start of Outlast 1. You explore the same asylum, but from different areas, and at almost the same time as Miles' story. The most dangerous character here, Eddie Gluskin, a patient obsessed with marriage. He kidnaps men and turns them into his brides. One of the most disturbing characters in the entire series. Wayland's goal is trying to escape, while carrying evidence, but Murkoff wants to erase everything. Any witness must die. In the end, Wayland escapes the asylum. He successfully sends the evidence to the world, and survives, unlike Miles, but Murkoff still knows where he is, which means he will be hunted for the rest of his life. Connection to the original ending. At the end of the DLC, while you are escaping, you see Miles' dead body, which means the events of the DLC happen in parallel with the main game and confirm what really happened to him. That's everything for today. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more.